I'm Myke Shrews,
And I'm Tivis,
and you're listening to
the Munster Cast.
episode mother freaking 100. Welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters and Munsters adjacent. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend, Tivis. So, Tivis, please, dude, tell everybody out in the Munsterverse, how you been, bro?
Been all right. Destroyed my hand all up working on my furnace the other day.
Awesome, man. Guys, Tivis, everybody out in the Munsterverse, it is episode 100. Guys, we're celebrating episode 100 today, and next week you will be getting it as well. We are breaking this up into two parts for you guys. We just had a bunch of stuff, so we decided to do a two-parter for episode 100 for everybody out there. This I guess before we dive into anything and lead into the episode that is recorded, we already recorded the episode for you guys. This is just a lead in for you, so we'll dive into the dirty business synopsis time a little bit, and then let you know what's going on. All right, so before we get into anything else, the dirty business, you can find the Munster Cast on all social media platforms as Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter box thing.
Well, not all social media, just those.
A
just
majority
Meta right now.
A majority.
Not even majority, dude.
You can also see our pretty ugly faces every Munster Monday that we put an episode out via youtube.com/@TheMunsterCast. That's youtube.com/@TheMunsterCast. And if you want to catch us on every little thing all in one place, swing on over to TheMunsterCast.com. That is www.TheMunsterCast.com. I don't even think you have to put www anymore these days. But yeah, TheMunsterCast.com. If you're over there, guys, you can swing by, hit the store tab, or you can swing on over to TheMunsterCast.com/merch. Pick yourself up an awesome MunsterCast t-shirt, branded either with our logo here that I am wearing today, or you can get one of the other various shirts that are there as well that do not have the logo on it. So if you're a little ashamed of listening to us, I get it, but you can still at least, pick a shirt up, support the show, and support the Munsters by wearing those shirts out in public, guys. So what else do we got? Oh yeah, email. You can also email us at TheMunsterCast@Outlook.com. That's the TheMunsterCast@Outlook.com. And then you guys can tell us all about your Munster stories, everything like that. Hopefully we have a few of them that get cut in to these episodes here and there over the next time while we're recording these and editing it all together. Get some cool stories in. But as far as post these episodes, of course, you can still send in messages, voice messages, written messages, anything like that. If you have fan films, as we end up talking about a little bit over these episodes, if you have fan films that you want us to check out or watch and discuss on here, send those to us, send us links. If you have fan stories that you've written yourselves, send us all that stuff, guys. We'd love to take a look at it all and see more Munster content, especially from those who love it so much from the fans. And what else have we got, Tivis?
We have a Patreon, which, as always, mostly just a tip jar. But if you do decide to help us out, which is really, really appreciated because podcasting ain't free, you get access to our Discord where you can chat directly with us. And we are trying to grow a more inclusive community, as well as be able to watch the Munsters Today episodes along with us, because it's the only way we found that Universal won't get pissed at us. Now,
right.
What helps us more than that, though, is leaving a review on your podcatcher of choice if it allows it. Give it a star rating. Doesn't have to be 5. We appreciate 5, but we also want you to actually give actual feedback, constructive. What can we do better? What could we tone down? How well are we doing in any other area?
what you guys like, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yes. And we have adjusted the show accordingly to people who have sent that stuff in. So, anything that helps us improve. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, hitting that like button, leaving a comment, getting the algorithm going, subscribe to us. That also really helps. And hit that bell if you want to see anytime we drop a video, because we do episodes or release stuff outside of our main episodes every now and then. We have much more than 100 to pick from.
Yeah, we definitely we have there's a few things out there for sure to take a gander at.
Yep. And don't forget to tell a friend about the show as well. Word of mouth is how we pretty much grew this entire time. So thank you, each and every one of you.
Yeah, definitely, guys. We appreciate everybody out there too for sticking around, especially through all 100 episodes of the podcast itself. So we appreciate you guys, and we hope that you enjoy this 100 episode special, and we hope that you guys take away some stuff from it. You learn a little bit about us and a little more about some things in our lives and stuff like that too, from at least this episode that's about to play. Where I guess I should just do the synopsis time.
Synopsis time
for this episode, guys, for episode 100 of the Munster Cast.
Part one.
On this episode of the Munster Cast, Myke and Tivis have a blast from the past as guest Austin Mosher returns from the depths of the underbelly of indie filmmaking. Will Myke lose his mind and cluck away? Will Tivis juck off to the stories of the succubus Marilyn? Will Austin finally like Rob's Munster movie, or will he have a story time ending in a ride with Dragula? And will chaos ensue? Find out on this extraordinary episode 100 part 1 celebration. There we go, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, guys, and we will catch you right after you get to watch it. Welcome, everybody, to the special 100th episode of the Munster Cast. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend, Tivis. And we don't care how Tivis is doing today. We care about our other special guest, who is also a friend of mine as well. We have with us Austin Mosher. Austin, how you been, dude?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good. Tivis is quiet now. He's
Mike's mad at me.
Who isn't mad at Tivis? You know what, Tivis, we don't need to know how you're doing, because we all know you're still just staying at home, watching TV, letting your wife work for you. I know how it works.
I got my first unemployment check this week.
See, there you go. When I'm unemployed, I don't make any money, so you're doing better than me. This is what happens when you work for yourself, damn it. All right, guys. So again, guys, we are celebrating 100 episodes. This is probably going to be a decent episode length. We'll find out. We'll see what we get into, guys. But really, we just want to celebrate, one, the show doing 100 freaking episodes, and two, just to hear from a longtime friend, but also Mosher was on, I believe it was, when's the last one you were on? Rob Zombies, or would you come after that too?
I think it was.
I think the Rob Zombie one was my last episode.
Okay, so it's been almost 2 years then.
Why am I doing that? I'll check the website.
We're on about, I think, because the movie came out about 2 years ago. So, I'm curious. Post two years later, are your feelings still the same with that movie?
Yeah. I haven't rewatched it, and I don't plan on rewatching it. Sorry, Munster fan listeners. I don't like Rob Zombie's movie.
Yeah, the fandom split so much between that it doesn't even matter. There's nothing to even be sorry about. But yeah, Tivis, do you got anything that you want to start with, dude? I wanted to bring that up and pull it out.
It was episode 43 was the last time you joined us.
Oh man. So what, 57 episodes ago?
Yeah. October of 22.
I had to do the math real quick, man. I was like, don't sound like a dumbass. Luckily, we're not doing this live.
Or are we?
Or are we? Yes. I was pulling up my notes here real quick because I had told Mosher some stuff. I was like, yeah, this is what I think. Dude, Munster stuff. Have you been listening to the show currently since we're in the Munsters today? I know it's a harder one to get a hold of. So
I've listened to a few episodes here and there. I haven't listened to it as consistently since Munsters today. That I'm just more familiar with the original show.
Yeah.
And so occasionally, like I'll tune in and.
Oh.
But yeah.
Okay.
For audio listeners, Mosher has 2 cats. So they will be pestering him throughout this probably.
Yeah,
mine are locked outside the room.
They usually pop up behind me here when I'm at my computer. So
yeah, awesome.
I didn't mean to cut you off, man. What were you saying?
Yeah,
no, I mean the show's still great. I haven't watched as much of the Munsters Today stuff yet.
Yeah,
it would be easier if they made it fucking public.
Yeah, if it was available somewhere. I mean, Myke did drop me the episodes at one point, but like I
know I didn't. No, I did not. I did
mean,
not do that. What are you talking about? Distributing licensed content? What? No.
You didn't. Edward Herman stopped at your house.
But unfortunately, I no longer have those, so like I haven't. See, there's a
gotcha. It's not like he doesn't know somebody that could just let him in the Discord and he could watch him for free. Yeah, dude. No, we totally understand that. I was curious, did you end up listening to, well, you don't understand lots of things, Tivis.
That's fair.
Did you end up listening to the episode where we ended up having to put like a warning at the beginning of the episode? Did you end up doing that one?
Why are we going back to that?
I listened to part of it just because I was curious, because I texted Myke because it was like after you recorded it, Tivis posted something on the socials about wait until you see next week's controversial episode, and I screen capped that comment, and I'm like, what the fuck happened in this week's episode?
Yeah,
it was okay. You're a big fan of Scrubs as well. You know that episode where Carla unzips her head and JD's face melts off? That's kind of what happened.
I think Tivis was like, he really, for that episode, I think he went all PR marketing on it and was like, this is going to be a big scandal episode. And he really oversold it, which I think helped, to be honest, with
well, it wasn't real life events happened.
Well, yeah, then some stuff happened a couple days after we recorded it, which kind of was like, oh yeah,
a couple no, we recorded it weeks in advance.
Was it? Oh yeah,
a couple days after it came out. Or no, it came out a couple days after that.
Yeah, it came out like 3 days after the
thingy
thing with the ear
thing.
The ear thing. But yeah, so I think Tivis was like trying to really oversell it. I mean, he wasn't trying to oversell it, but like he kept posting about it or saying stuff about it. I'm like, it's not that bad, bud. It's not a big deal.
It definitely got it definitely got my curiosity, because I'm just like, you don't normally think of like a Munsters rewatch podcast being something that's going to be like super like, oh, risque content.
Listeners, just wait for episode 101. You're gonna get a couple more of my opinions.
But yeah, no, I definitely like when you sent that to me, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And then I had to go back and I re-listened to it, and like I cut the section and kept listening to it like multiple times before it aired to be like, is it okay? Like, I was like, he doesn't say anything too extreme. Nothing is said like too extreme to the point where I'm like, we don't
there's
need
a
that.
certain portion of the audience that was not happy with me, and I'm okay with that.
Did you
You
get
don't have
messages?
to like me.
Did you get messages?
No, because they don't.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
It doesn't
At that
exist
point-
then. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't happen. False. Never occurred. I need to get that audio from Fact or Fiction every time.
I was real worried. All right.
I mean, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah. And I kept asking him, I was like, well, do you want to re-listen to it before? And he's like, no, I don't.
I hate the sound of my voice, man. I have not once listened to anything I've recorded with you guys.
For shame. I do. I have to.
Yeah, you're the editor.
you let's use editing as a very loose term for this show, okay? Because
I make it easy on you.
I don't want people to think that there's a lot of editing going on. That's the audio they're getting.
I listen to a podcast. Tivis listens to it too. The Weekly Planet podcast, and in this past week's episode, James, the host of the show, was talking about how he's edited so much of his own voice that the voice he hears in his head is actually his real voice. He doesn't have that like alter like, oh, my voice sounds different in my head. He's like, no, I hear my voice so much that's the voice I hear.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. Shit. Where was I in my notes here? Let's see. I'm taking that down, Tivis, because it ruins the imagery on the screen.
Okay.
We don't need it right now. But no, yeah. So I was just curious if you'd listened to that episode and what you thought, or like so what were your end results after did you end up listening to his segment there? Because I know it's like way into it.
I did. I didn't think it was as bad. I think if you take it now into the context of like the real world events that occurred at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, maybe a little. So, but there's no way when you recorded it you could have predicted that was going to happen. So
I couldn't.
It's not the first time it has happened throughout the show either. So when I was in Italy, an episode released that I had preset up to release and everything, which was the AI story said by AI and all this shit about Maryland. Just happened that was the exact week that the writer's strike went on for AI. So it kind of looked like we were just trolling everybody, and we totally weren't. It was so fucked up.
It's weird. It's weird when those end up lining up like that. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was two bad ones, but
yeah.
That was episode 64 in May of 23 for listeners.
Yeah. That was unexpected, because then like I the thing was like on the news at the hotel we were at when we were eating breakfast one morning. And no, not breakfast. We were just walking through. That's what it was. We never ate at the hotels there. Why would you? It's Italy. But it was on the news, and I looked up at the screen. I'm like, huh. And then I remembered the episode that dropped, and I looked at Nick, and I was like, well, that's not good.
He texted me and he said, should we pull this? And I'm like, it's out now. Who cares?
Yeah, I was like, should this get pulled? Like, I don't remember.
We'll address it when you get back. Okay, it's fine.
Oh yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, like those things are actually, other people find them as like heart-wrenching or something, like if it happens and their show just did it. Like we see it a lot with like movies and crap like that. Like something will happen. That one movie had to pull the movie shooting scene because the movie shooting happened in real life. The only way you actually see that scene is if you watch the original trailer. Like they tried to get that off the internet too. But
that was the Batman stuff, right?
Yeah. It was after Dark Knight Rises, right? That was when the shooting happened.
Yeah. Dark Knight Rises was the Aurora theater shooting.
Yeah. So it's interesting when those things end up happening like that in those events that affect the way certain media works. But us going back and watching, and it's interesting because the 60s Munster show was it had its moments. It's like PSAs in every episode. We all know that. We all know the line that Herman says and at the end of every episode of our show that we put out and everything.
And for the most part, the 80s version has been kind of the same.
And the 80s version is, it's pretty much semi the same, but they don't do like a PSA speech. It's like it's built throughout the story, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But seeing the 80s show and the events, especially with that episode that we put the warning on, it was one of those things. It was like, how do we talk about this without being what's
the good word?
Too on the nose, but also making sure the point is there, that it's hard hitting and stuff, so that it's not like we're making light of an event that, because we couldn't find anything that happened at that exact point when that episode arose or anything like that, but there's plenty of stuff in the 80s and 90s that happened with explosions and attacks and stuff like that. But the sad thing is that was done in the 90s and it still happens today. So it's like it was a really crazy one to deal with. But anyways, that's neither here or there. I don't even know where I was going with that. I just was curious.
I think we're just trying to sell him on watching the Today Show.
not the Today Show, the Munsters Today
Show.
I
watched the Today Show.
Don't watch the Today Show. Next, you're going to tell me you watch The View. Cluck, cluck, cluck.
Almost exclusively.
I'm trying to think of a different morning thing, and I can't because I don't pay attention to any of those.
I think Michael's out of commission.
I was going to say, I watched the Ellen show, but I'm like, crap, that was an afternoon show.
Oh, you supported Ellen beating all of her employees?
Hell yeah, keep them in line.
No,
how do you think Myke keeps me on track?
Mike's the Ellen of this show.
I send this cat in to attack his ankles.
Don't look him in the eyes.
So there was this event that happened near you guys that Tivis ended up, I got work, and couldn't go with you two.
I get up at 4 in the morning.
Wimping out of. There was an event.
And an event.
Why couldn't it happen now? I got all the freaking time in the world.
once in the some people's lifetime event that was happening. I got this photo here from my brother who went with you, autographed and stuff. But you went and you got to meet Butch Patrick and stuff. I did. How'd you like it, dude?
It was awesome. It was at a really small drive-in theater out in like just rural as hell, like Ohio. And it wasn't even like a ton of people there. I mean, there was a lot, but it was not like a big convention or anything like that. They just had him come in and they were doing a screening of the movie Munsters Go Home.
Yep. That was the second one or the first one?
I think the first one is the Dragula race one.
Yeah, because the second one's when they're in they're Munsters Revenge. That's right.
Yeah. Munsters Go Home was the first.
Yeah.
And so it was just this little drive-in theater. I went with your brother, and one of
the one that's been on the show.
Yeah, one of your brother's friends and his your brother's daughter. So it was.
You
was
about
fun.
To say ex?
No.
Oh, it sounded like you're about to say his ex. I was like, what?
No. No, but yeah, but he did that signing before the movie, and it was really cool. Like I got my DVD set signed.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I was a little bummed by this because he was selling T-shirts there, like Munsters T-shirts, and I really like this T-shirt. He did sign it, which sounds like
cool.
Like it sounds like cool, but it also like I just wanted the T-shirt to like wear it, but now he signed it, so I can't really wear the shirt. But like, I have the.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. The old school. Is it the entrance of it? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I got those things signed by him. Again, it's just like
not one of our shirts.
You're not Butch Patrick.
I when he was in town last year, I want to say I got him. He was at like a local like comic book shop like place, and he just had a table set up in the front and people, whatever. And I ended up talking to him for a minute. I've talked about it on the show and stuff, but I ended up getting him to sign one of the Munster Cast shirts. I showed it to him, got to show him the logo and shit. I was like, what do you think? I think he made a joke. He's like, well, it's not my face, but yeah, but he's a cool guy.
You need to get him on the show.
Yeah. I gave him a business card when I met with him. So I just got to reach back out to him. I might end up reaching out to, I think it's his girlfriend that travels with him. I'm not sure if they're married, so I don't want to say wife in case they aren't, but his spouse that travels with him. I think she takes care of a lot of the booking stuff for him as well. But he does a lot of car shows and things because he goes to and takes the Dragula and the Munster coach around with him.
Yeah, he drove the Dragula up to the signing, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, did he end up staying for the whole movie?
He did.
Did he do a Q&A or?
No, he didn't do like a Q&A afterwards, and I'm glad he didn't because it did get late. Yeah. By the time the movie started and by the time you got home, it was a decent. Like I didn't get home till I think it was like 12:30 or something that day.
Yeah, we know you're old now.
Yeah,
12:30 was so late. Oh,
dude, I go to bed at like 10:30 every day. So
I'm normally in bed right now.
So yeah. But no, it was worth it though. I think it was really cool, and I got my photo taken with him. I got my DVD set signed by him, which is big for me because the Munsters, like the 60s Munster show, was a big part of me growing up. So I was like, that to me made it worth it. If only a little bit sleepy the next day, I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll drink a Celsius and I'll soldier on.
Yeah, dude.
He's someone I would really like to meet because, I met Jeff Daniel Phillips from the new movie. I've got Stephen Horowitz for the today's show. I just need a couple people from the 90s movies to cross them off, and then him, and I've got everyone from all the eras now, or someone from every era now.
Yeah. I know next month Horowitz, Horowitz? How do you say it, Tivis? He left me anyway. Horowitz. He was in the Munsters today if you didn't watch that, but I mean he's a great voice actor, everything else too. He played like Alpha 5 and stuff like that in Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Invader Zim, I believe, and all those. He's a great voice actor.
Oh, but, he's the voice actor for Zim. Yeah.
But him and then Marsden, who plays Eddie in the Munsters today as well, are going to be at a show in town sometime in September. So I'm gonna try and make it over there and see them and see if I can sucker one of them to get on. I guess Tivis talked to Horvitz about the Munsters? Did he seem? I don't remember what you said, Tivis.
He didn't. I don't know if he was just trying to keep the line moving pretty far. He was more interested in talking about Power Rangers, so I don't know if he's got like a much of a memory of that time, because it seems like he's gone after the first season. Yeah, and he was only on like what, 6 episodes? Yeah,
something like that. Right. He's probably like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about
it was cool. I've known his voice for years. They actually have a show where he was appearing. That was so great.
Well, I've always known him, like I've known his voice and stuff, but I didn't know him visually except from Summer School, the movie Summer School, which is a fucking awesome movie. It's great for any film maker out there too that love films. Have you ever seen Summer School? I
haven't.
No. It's a very 80s movie, but it's about summer school. But it's kind of like the ragtag group of kids. No. It was one of those movies where it's like the ragtag group of kids, the ones that are like the lower of the low totem pole and stuff, and they have to go through all these trials and tribulations and become better than what they were when they first started, shit like that. So it's one of those kind of movies, but it's a really good one. They do some cool stuff in it that I think film people and especially horror people or special effects people would actually dig within the movie. So I don't want to spoil it if you ever watch it. So that's a good movie, Summer School. I'm trying to remember what year that was made.
87.
87. There you go. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I guessed.
Oh yeah. 87. Yeah. It's 1987.
That just sounds like in the wheelhouse of stuff you like.
But Mark Harmon is the lead in that one. Do you know who that is?
Mark Harmon? Yeah, he was in NCIS. So.
Yeah. So he's
that's
the
where
lead.
I recognize the name from.
And he's the lead guy in there. Christy Alley's in it. And then a bunch of other people. Carl Rayner's in there. It's got a good cast, I think. So yeah. Anyways, that's not Munsters related at all. But that's just how I remember Horvitz, like his visual representation until the Munsters. So
he's been making the rounds on TikTok. Like he's been talking a lot of like I don't know why there's just been this influx of interview clips or like podcast clips or whatever that he's been on, and like he's just talking about Invader Zim.
Yeah.
Let's get him on.
Right. I'm sure he got like a lot of press too after the Power Rangers Forever or Now and Forever, Once and Forever thing.
Once
and Always.
Once and Always. Yeah. I was gonna say I had it until you just kept rambling.
Because he reprised his role as Alpha's voice in that as well, but it was like Alpha 20 million. I don't remember when.
I guess I didn't even realize that he did that voice. I make sense now that I know it.
I never knew that either until we were watching this show and Tivis brought it up. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, that makes sense.
Invader Zim, I kind of ruined his voice, kind of like how the Joker, Mark Hamill, now just sounds like the Joker. Because if you watch the special, Alpha sounds more like Zim than Alpha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's crazy is that like hearing him like talking just like on interviews and stuff, his voice isn't that far off from Zim's voice in general.
Not at all.
He tweaks it a little bit, but like it's not far off. And so when I was listening to him talk, all I could hear is just Zim.
Yeah. All right, dude. So let's dive into this question because it's one I haven't really asked you in an aside or personally. I'm sorry, I've been listening to Mission to Zix a lot. So an aside, I'm gonna put you in the side. Let's go into an aside. For people who don't know, that's an awesome podcast, and it's a very what is it, ad-libbed, I guess?
It is. It's kind of like an audio adventure with a group of friends who are just ad-libbing a story. It's so good.
It's like Spaceballs, but an ad-libbed version of it because
And
it's
every
completely a
episode
Star
has a
Wars
guest.
ripoff.
Oh, it's very. I remember when it was coming out, they were on a Star Wars, the top Star Wars podcast advertising it, and they said it was kind of like it's Star Wars meets Futurama, basically.
Yeah.
Where Boba Fett is like a debt collector.
I'm finally trying to finish it up, catch up because it's over with now. I think they did 5 seasons and it's over with. So, if I say random stuff like that or juck you, it's because of that show. But anyways, to take it to this area here, because I have not yet talked to you about it outside of anything. I don't think I've actually even brought it up to you, Mosher. Austin, whichever. What would you like me to call you on the show, dude?
Whatever you want to call me.
All right.
I don't care.
A man.
Dude Meister.
But we had news a few months back, I think, or a few weeks back. I don't even know. Time travel's weird for us on this show. Speaking of time travel, that's weird for us on the show, Tivis. The time travel episode was weird. Didn't make sense. That episode pissed us off. If it isn't out yet, you guys know.
Oh, it's out.
It is out. Yeah. All right. But we talked about me and Tivis did like
back in May
thing where we talked about the possible new show that they're going to try. And do,
the James Wan show.
Yeah, not that we've heard like anything solid on it, but what are your thoughts on something like that, or like what you would like to see if he did that?
I mean, I'd be interested in seeing what he does. I mean, I have a little bit of trepidation with it just because James Wan is strictly like a horror guy most of the time. Not always, but like. He's most known for his horror work, like Insidious and Saw and
Aquaman,
which is the most horrific of them all.
Exactly.
Hey, top grossing DCEU film. Just saying, it's
not much to brag about.
It's not that hard to beat.
But I am worried that it's going to be more of like more like
the
Mockingbird Lane pilot than it's going to be like the Munsters, which whatever. I mean, I hope they do something, like at least Rob Zombie, he's a horror guy also, and he made it more of like for all of its faults, it is like a love letter to the Munsters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily super successful, but like I'd like to see like an actual like a more modern reimagining of the show, as opposed to like, oh, they're monsters, so it has to be like spooky, scary.
Right.
But I'm excited. I like the fact that we at least are potentially getting more Munster stuff.
Yeah. And it's not really like when you look back, even at the 60s Munster show. I mean, they kind of got away from it in the Munsters today, but in the 60s Munster show, it was a lot of like the family being treated differently because they look different or they were different in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we don't have stories like that today that we can tell. Come on. Like,
yeah, I mean, they were making the show they were making the show at the height of like the civil rights movement in the 60s. So it's like it makes sense to have that kind of allegorical take on it.
Yeah.
But like that stuff still exists. We can still do like versions of that character that feel modern and
it's why those stories I feel still resonate today, because they have that long last. Unfortunately, they have that longevity within their storytelling into today's society, even, which kind of sucks, but at the same time is probably good for the creators of that original show because it lasted so long. It's very timely all the time.
I'd like to jump on the setting them, just putting them in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my selling point to you for watching Munsters today. That's basically what they did with that show. It's just the characters living their lives in the 80s.
Yeah. There's only a few
late
people
80s.
that there's only a few
React to
people
'em.
within the Munsters today that react to them too. But there's
DD.
you know, like there's like one family, like we brought it up recently. They were in the first season. It was Dee Dee, but then her husband was like really cool with Herman, and it kind of reminded me of like how Al Bundy was with like the Darcy and Steve. Yeah. So, and for people who don't know those characters, Married with Children, sorry. Which Married with Children is kind of like a Munsters, just they weren't monsters. They didn't look like monsters. But like, I mean, like Peggy could have been like
Married with Children is more like the Mockingbird Lane show. They're terrible people.
They just didn't have a grandparent running around with them. That's the only cast member they were missing. Then they were kind of like a more modern take on the Munsters without being like super. Yeah, the dog. I'm sorry. I'm going to take another aside for a second. And is there a show that had the kid that played Bud Bundy where he talked to a freaking dog?
That was Married with... Yeah, that was an episode of Married with Children.
But the dog talked back, right?
That I don't remember, but I definitely remember the dog talking.
Swear there's a whole show out there somewhere about like that kid talking to a dog who talked back to him. And I might be having a fever dream or something thinking about it because I have been trying to find it and I can't find it anywhere and it annoys me. Anyways. Back to this. But yeah, James Wan's show, like it could be cool. It would be interesting to see. He's got a lot of creativity within his work that he has done, I would say.
No, I think he's a good filmmaker, and I think he obviously a talented producer. I mean, he's created some of the most like the biggest like horror franchises of the modern era. So I'm all in on it, like, but I just hope it's good. I am glad that we're getting more Munsters because I do, especially with like how much like Addams Family keeps getting revived. You know, we have like the 90s Addams Family movies, and then we have the Wednesday show now, where it's like there's obviously like a market for this type of show, like the Addams Family Munsters type, you know, like gothy monster type family like show. And but for whatever reason, Addams Family seems to always get like the good stories, and then Munsters kind of gets like, I don't know. Their stuff doesn't ever like hit as hard. Like there's Munsters movies, but they're not as big as like the Addams Family Values, and there's like the Munsters Today, but it's not exactly like as big or as remembered or as like.
I could point out a big difference between the two. Addams is owned by Warner Bros. Discovery, and Munsters is Universal. Yeah,
but you think Universal, especially when they're trying to like reboot their Universal Monsters and stuff like that, like because they've been trying for years for like, you know, they had like the Dark Universe that failed, and then they had
the second Dark Universe,
and then they had the Invisible Man movie that was really good.
Also, you would think that Universal would be wanting to do a better Munsters movie, you know, or show or anything, because the Munsters is like a family show, and we all know Universal is all about the family.
Are they?
All about the family. And
didn't
Universal.
That guy, he was supposed to direct one of those too?
James Wan did direct one of the Fast and Furious movies.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it was so forgettable. I never watched it.
He was supposed to do the last one, but he left.
He directed 5, right? Or was it 7?
5 or one of those two. I don't remember. Fast and Furious 7 and 8.
The
7. He might have done more.
I don't know what's going on. Universal, it doesn't seem like they were handling any of their properties well at all, or know what to do with any of them.
Well, I think we're about to see a shift in it because we have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein coming out next year.
Mm-hmm.
And we have also Maggie Gyllenhaal's Bride of Frankenstein, which I'm less excited about, but like at the same time, I'll take it.
Well, we also have that Nosferatu movie coming too.
Yeah, Nosferatu comes out Christmas time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and we've had a couple like iterations of Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to ask: are these Universal, or are those creatures now in public domain? So these are just somebody else.
I don't know actually.
I'm not sure. I don't think Nosferatu is Universal, but I think that at least one of the Frankenstein projects is.
It's hard to tell.
Although I think Guillermo.
Yeah, Nosferatu is Universal.
Is it? Okay.
Well, it's being distributed by Universal.
Oh,
so it doesn't actually say the backing company on here.
I think Guillermo del Toro's is Netflix produced, so I don't know if.
Well, see, like a lot of the studios have been licensing stuff out too now, which is awesome. They've gotten back into that habit of relicensing their stuff out to like an Amazon and things that want to put more money into the projects than they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Netflix.
But yeah, I do think like you said, like, well, like we keep getting the Addams Family iteration. Not all of them were good. Let's just say that.
No.
There were some after the 90s movies that were made from like the TV show that they did, that really horrible 2000s Fox Kids TV show or whatever.
And there were some really bad movies too that were like straight to like VHS
they were based off
movies.
the TV show, I think.
The only ones I really cared for was the crossover with Scooby-Doo, I'll be honest.
But
like, it's like I like Addams Family, but like I feel like Munsters, they keep trying to get something that like
sticks.
Yeah, and it doesn't ever really stick as well.
Yeah.
Not in like the pop cultural like stick anyway, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like Munsters Today got like 3 seasons, you know, so it's like it was at least at the time somewhat successful of a TV show, but like it's not like as well remembered as the 60s show.
If they had it available, I guarantee this would have more of a cult following if it was more easy to find.
I don't think it would have more of a cult following. I think it would just have a following at some point. Just because like it's not a horrible show, and the fact that it does have like Emmy stuff on it attached to it, it's crazy that they don't allow it. I prefer this one. We know Tivis because it's like in color for you, and you
black and white burns his eyes.
I can't see. They're supposed to be green. Why are they all white and black?
This is not the way people look.
This is like watching radio, man. They tell me these things, but all I see is black and white.
I listen to more audio than you. I have a whole shelf of audio.
I don't know, man. I listen to a lot of audio. But of course you listen to it. It's not being typed out on a screen for you to read.
Nothing but audio.
Now read some subtitles once in a while.
Why would I do that when I have giant books?
Because you don't read them. Clearly the spine shows you don't open that book.
Did you know how hard it is to open this damn thing? No, this one has not been read that much.
See? Exactly. All right, guys. Yeah, so that's cool, dude. I really wanted to hear your thoughts on what you thought about that. For sure,
I am very, very interested. I hope it's a good version.
Yeah.
If anything, it keeps your guys' show going longer if it happens.
Right. We kind of said that. We're like, yeah, no. We're like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? So, but I'm surprised though that they have not yet done like a cartoon.
Yeah.
After Rob Zombie's movie, like why not take advantage of all these kids finding it on Netflix and rewatching it and then be like, hey, here's a cartoon. There you go. Enjoy the cartoon now.
I feel like the era of like at my job, I am currently like ingesting the Beetlejuice TV show. For anyone who doesn't know, I work for a streaming service you get through libraries, and so Warner Brothers is giving us the Beetlejuice animated show right now, and
lucky.
and I'm going through and trying to get that on site right now.
That show always was funny to me because it's like Beetlejuice and her are like besties in that fucking thing. And I'm like, in the movie, it's like these are completely different opposite stories, dude.
I saw
that cartoon.
I saw somebody on TikTok say like because they grew up watching the cartoon because the movie was a little bit too mature for like kids mostly. And so like she didn't watch the movie till much later, so she always watched the cartoon. And so when she watched the movie, she was shocked that like Beetlejuice was actually like a weird like villain of the movie. Like he's gonna actually like try to force this girl to marry her. They aren't friends at all.
Yeah.
And it's like so she was like, I hope this new movie they do adventures together because that's the Beetlejuice I know.
And I think that's what it looks like, to be honest. I think that's it. The new movie looks like it's going to be hinting more towards what the animated did. Just from the trailer I saw anyway.
Yeah, I think Monica Bellucci is going to be the villain of it. And I think it's going to be like they have to call Beetlejuice to like help.
Yep.
Which is more along the lines what the cartoon was like. Yeah.
Right.
It's like there was a series, like you were saying, a series of cartoons. Like Beetlejuice, Ace Ventura, The Mask, Jumanji got a cartoon.
Godzilla, the 2000.
Godzilla.
That was a direct sequel to that show. That movie.
I got it.
The real Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
That was a bit earlier than this group of shows, though.
Yeah, the real Ghostbusters was late 80s.
Yeah,
but in the like 90s, like mid 90s ish, like they did like a fucking cartoon for every movie that came
Evolution
out.
got a cartoon.
Yeah, Evolution. Yeah,
X-Files had a cartoon.
Did it? Men in Black did. I don't remember.
Men in Black had one. And all these things had cartoons, and I feel like we need to bring that back.
They even had a cartoon because you had Tales from the Crypt, and then they had Tales from the Crypt Keeper was the cartoon that was on Fox Kids on Saturday. So there was like the adult version and then the kid version. And I think, to be honest, I'm really curious if Troma Entertainment started that, because they had Toxic Avenger and then they did Toxic Crusaders, which was nothing like the movies. It was like the PGest version thing ever that Troma ever put out. It was crazy.
There was that like 6 or 8 episode Swamp Thing animated show that came out after the Wes Craven movie.
Yeah. Oh.
But now
I want like them to do like Nightmare on Elm Street animated for kids. Like Freddy's funny and with the kids, and he's hanging out with them.
Oh no, I don't know after that new one, but yeah, I agree. I mean, the original show, I've said repeatedly, it was a live action Scooby-Doo pretty much. Just do that, but make it a cartoon.
Yeah.
Mini Munsters showed that it can work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that animation would be I feel like we're in a weird spot in animation though, where like studios don't want to invest in it, and especially like 2D animation is like very rare anymore.
I'm even willing to, if somebody does it out there, because I am not that talented enough to do it myself, but if somebody makes an animated fan series for the Munsters, I will promote it on this show. I will push people towards it constantly, as long as, given the stories are good and it actually is fun to watch. But I would totally promote that, just because I think that's the only way you're going to get some of these bigger studios to actually take and work towards it. Because like Star Trek, for example, and the Munsters is filtered with Star Trek shit. Trust us. We see it through both shows. So many people in Star Trek. It's interesting. Even Daniel Roebuck, Star Trek, So where was I going? Oh, like with Star Trek, like people that want to do fan stuff, like they have to jump through hoops just to do it. And they will shut them down if they're making something better than what they're about to put out. It's fucking crazy. And I'm like, sometimes it takes that little push from the fans to get them to be like, oh, well, maybe we need to step our game up. Maybe
I'm sure it's the same with Disney now, because George Lucas used to promote the fan films. Like he would have conventions just to premiere fan films on screen for everyone to watch together.
Yeah,
we all know
Disney. I don't think that shit's been happening.
We all know Disney is a very litigious corporation. They do not like people using their stuff. That's why when like the
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, that's when Steamboat Willie went public domain. Everyone kind of went crazy because it's like they can't do anything anymore.
Yeah. And I heard the guys that did like Winnie Pooh, Blood and Honey are gonna do like a Steamboat Willie movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be set in that universe or not, though.
I hope it is. I think they're just having fun. They're just really having fun destroying everyone's childhood.
But because we're gonna be talking about fan films with Frank, or we did already. I don't know when these are coming out, but we need more places to promote the fan experience. These communities exist, and all they're basically doing are bickering online anymore because they can't do anything fun together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys can all hold me to this. I will host any fan film that comes our way. I will put it on our site and everything for people. You can put it on your own YouTube channel, whatever, but we'll still like hyperlink it in there and have it on the website so people can see it. So I'll say that on the 100th episode. Why the fuck not? Fan films, fan stories. Like I've been asking for people to send us these things because it is like almost impossible to find out there right now. For
Mosher, we don't want your erotica, dude.
I got a binder full for you, Tivis.
Does it have to deal with the succubus Maryland?
Oh, God, no. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you that just do a cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be an easy way where it's like you don't have to worry about like the makeups and stuff. It's just like do the characters and it doesn't matter. Just make a little. I don't know. I want Munsters to have like a good comeback. Like I don't think we're gonna get more of the Rob Zombie Munsters. No. I don't think that did very well.
I don't think that he even wants to come back and try and do it again because it was such a headache for him to do in the first place. Like I heard him talk about something, but he's like trying to focus on his music. He loved doing it because he got to do it with his friends and stuff. Yeah. But I think it was just such a headache to deal with the studio and that's the thing is when you're dealing with some of these bigger I guess, yeah, I'm going to say Munsters is a bigger franchise for them. It's just one that they don't like to.
It's the neglected child.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, when you're dealing with those, you have to jump through so many things. Like Ryan Reynolds was so lucky recently to have had as much freedom as he got on the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
It helps
But
that he's the producer on it, so
Yeah.
like he has a little bit more leverage.
But there's very few even directors out there that get that much creative control over a big franchise anymore.
Even to that point, that the new Rockstars put out a video about some more hidden things that are in there. If you haven't watched their stuff, they go very into detail. So if you don't want to know too much, don't go to their channel. But they were basically talking about how a lot of the stuff in that film, in the interviews they were giving, was completely different. And then Feige came along and be like, why don't we just connect this to that? So,
yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens with all of that. But in the grand scheme of things, like I really want more creative control given to some of these creatives. I mean, you're hiring them because of their creativity in the first place. So, give them, I know with like connected universes now being like the big thing with Marvel and DC and Star Wars.
Well, even when they're not connected, they can look at Fan 4 Stick. Talk about a movie where the studio went too much into get the hell out of here. What the hell?
Though what? Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Fan 4
Bug flew by me.
What the heck is that?
The 2015 Fantastic Four.
Oh,
the dumb 4 in the logo.
They stylistically use the 4 as the A, and everyone jokingly calls it Fan 4 Stick.
Like the studio interference in that movie is insane. There is a bug flying around me. I don't know where it came from.
It's not a bug. It's a zombie.
No, but studio interference, it ruins a lot of projects. I was just going through and rewatching all the Alien movies with Alien Romulus coming out. Or now it's out. So
yeah,
I've seen it twice. It's great.
Lucky.
But I every time I watch Alien 3, I'm like, man, this could have been so much better if the studio hadn't just messed with it.
It's insane to me that there are two different versions of that film that exist, and neither one is what the director wanted.
The assembly cut at least is like closer,
yeah.
I
love that third one.
David Fincher doesn't give a shit about it though. He just owns it, and like,
so with creativity, I'm gonna bring this back to the Munsters
great power,
because or none at all. So as we're learning, what are the legalities of us doing like an audio drama of the Munsters?
Oh God,
because people do it all the time for like other franchises, but like, what's the legality of that shit?
I think as long as it's not monetized, it should be all right.
I don't know.
If anybody out there is a lawyer, hit me up. We gotta talk. Because maybe that's how we continue this show.
Because I mean, there are tons of like I know at least 3 off the top of my head of audio stuff that's Power Rangers related. There was an unofficial Batman audio thing before they launched their own official one.
There's a bunch of unofficial Batman out there.
Yeah, there was one that I remember got real big though. It was the one you listened to.
I don't know what the legality of that is, because a lot of the copyright have to do with like visuals and stuff, and using like the copyrighted like symbolism and like like costumes and stuff. I don't know if they can stop you from like doing like a like audio drama or whatever, like a radio play.
Yeah. Just call it the Munster family. Leave out the S, so it doesn't even say Munsters like their logo does on everything.
So, quick Google lawyer search. Basically, with audio legality stuff, it appears, at least from this brief reading that I'm doing, as long as we don't use any actual audio from the thing itself, could be good.
Okay. So like the fan film stuff, like you're not
like
using
the stinger we use at the end of our show could get us in trouble.
Technically, that's edited too because I did alter that a little bit. There's some stuff that happens in that line, in between some of the lines. I just cut it to make it a smooth sentence, so it's not straight from there. Yeah, so that's something I might look into, guys. If you guys out there listening, you want to pitch in or you want to send us your stories and stuff like that, please do.
Or audition for a part. Mosher, audition.
Maryland. We could do the Maryland Chronicles of all the guys that she's eaten. Every guy that showed up and just disappears.
Mike's gonna canonize Maryland as a succubus if it kills him.
We've already seen it spreading in fan groups, dude.
People bring it up and they're like, "Did you know Maryland's a succubus?" And I'm like, "Did I just start something?"
Because you said that from like early on episodes of the podcast, like the first couple when you were talking about like the original characters and what they are like representing them, and you're like, you brought that up pretty early, so
yeah,
I hope it takes on a life of its own and that becomes like a canon thing. That'd be so funny.
It annoys Tivis every time I bring it up. He's like, "Nope, we're gonna like walk right past that." I'm like, "But Maryland," because there was an episode a few episodes ago that we did, and it was like there was one episode where they were around like a bunch of boys and stuff like that. And then
was like the one where they got sucked into the TV and annoyed the hell out of us.
Yeah, the TV one where they got like sucked into that rule made no sense at all either. It was stupid.
Do you know of that one?
Mm-mm.
They tried to do like a Pleasantville kind of thing, but it wasn't like Pleasantville because they could like just travel to the freaking studio to get.
Yeah, they go to the studio set where they're filming it to get him.
But they all knew his name as soon as he got zapped into the TV program. I'm like, what's the rules of this? Made no sense. But there was that episode where it's like a bunch of like bad kids, like bad teens or whatever. And then like the next episode or two after it, Marilyn wasn't seen at all. So I was like, well, during that time, Marilyn must have eaten those kids and then took her slumber. So she had to be asleep for that whole time. Yeah. Tivis was like, no. I think I put it in one of the synopsis for that episode. I don't remember what one it was. Yeah. Tivis is easy to like make uneasy. Very uneasy. All right. So we talked about the James Wan thing. You go and see and dude and all that stuff, dude. So I know like we talked about a little bit of creativity on the people making stuff side. You've been making some stuff and you had something that recently came out. Do you want to talk a little bit about that one, that project?
Yeah, sure. I was a director of photography on a short film with my friend Jim. Mm-hmm. He wrote and directed it. It's a 9-minute short film that we shot in my apartment. It's called VEJIGANTE, which is a Puerto Rican like folkloric spirit.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got into a couple film festivals. It placed second place in a festival in Cleveland, and it was nominated for best short film at Chicago Horror Festival.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I saw it when it came out. I watched it and everything. And I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. I was like, this is like the start to when I watched, because like you said, it's a short. When I watched it, I was like, this could be a cool like little mini series or something for YouTube.
That is like the one like consistent reaction we get to everybody who watches it is always like, when's the next one coming out? Like because it does have that feeling of like proof of concept more than just like an encapsulated short. I mean, it is its own story, but
Right.
like it's told in such a way where it definitely you could see how it could be expounded on.
Yeah, it definitely plays like a pilot, almost like a pilot episode of something. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
And everybody like across the board, like I'll show like just my random like aunts and uncles, and they'll say it. They'll be like, "Oh, when are you gonna do another one?" We'll show just random like friends or coworkers or whatever, and they all like almost everybody says that, and it's like it makes me feel good because it's just like people like it enough where they actually want more. So
yeah. When I would watch it, I was like, oh man, this is a good start to like potentially get like people like pop it on like an Indiegogo or something, get people to fund doing like X amount of episodes or some shit. Be pretty cool if that's something that he wants to do, or you guys as a team want to do, whatever. It's his project, so
it's really up to Jim in this one because he's the writer and director of it.
Yeah. Well, share the love, man. Share the love. Tell them people are wanting more of the story and stuff.
It's up on the YouTube now if anyone wants to see it. The it's spelled VEJIGANTE. Okay. And just do like VEJIGANTE short film and we pop up.
All right. Right. And I'll try and put the link to that in the description, guys, for everybody on both YouTube and all those streaming platform things, podcast stuff. There we go. That it was cool, man. Yeah, I liked it, and it kind of gave me a little bit of without giving anything away, but a little bit of like Constantine kind of vibes to it. But
yeah, I mean the kind of elevator pitch on it is like it's like they're working class like demon extractors.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like in a world where extracting demons is like taking care of like a roach infestation. Stuff like that. It's cool. It was a fun time making it. It took us like 4 days to shoot it last year.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good time. I loved making it, and he and I work together every now and again still. So
yeah,
like we just shot some commercials for a friend's local business, and
right on.
Yeah, there you go.
There's how you spell it. If you guys are watching the episode, it is spelled on the screen there for you. The nice little poster Tivis popped up on there real quick. Did you end up getting like a lot of creative control then over that? Like visually, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, he and I worked on it together. So okay. I wouldn't say like but you know, like I helped design some of the shots, and you know, we like figured out the lighting situation and stuff together. And
but he didn't go like Zack Snyder on you and be like, all right, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing the camera too. I want the lights right here.
No, we had a very collaborative relationship on set. So it's like,
that's good.
There's one the only shot that I'm not actually like behind the camera. It's a shot that I conceived of, like I wanted to do it, but like my lens is very hard to rack focus because it's a lens that's usually used for like still photography as opposed to video. So the focus ring is kind of, you have to crank the hell out of it. Sorry to get a little more in the weeds on filmmaking, but and there's one shot in there where we start on the reflection of her in my oven door, and then we pan the camera over to her actual face and we rack the focus on her. and I could not for the life of me get the focus to hit. And then so Jim did it. He has more experience doing like wedding videography, so he has more experience doing like on the fly focusing, and he was able to actually get that shot.
Awesome.
So it was a very like not ego driven like relationship.
That's
we
good.
like if I had an idea of how to make a shot better, he would do it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I mean, he's the director, but like, you know, we would just be like, hey, what if we did it this way? Or we had a problem, you know, with why is this way, and like, how about we do it this? So it was a very fun, creative, collaborative experience.
Yeah, that's good, man, dude. I'm happy that you had fun doing it and everything too, because I've worked on some indie stuff, and there was one project I worked on. The heck, Tivis. There was one project I worked on that I was the producer of, and my buddy was the writer director, and we were shooting it as like a proof of concept type thing. He had written an entire script, and he wanted we went out and shot a few pages from the script, and I'll tell you what. And another friend of mine was there too that night. Unfortunately, I found out recently that the friend who wrote and directed it, he did pass away, which kind of sucked because he was younger than me by several years. The shoot itself was fun to do with my friends, but we had a guy show up and had a gun on him, and it was like late at night, and we were at like a pizza parlor shooting, and that was not fun. I was literally the only one who was like not afraid and hiding in the back of the pizza place. So I would like went out to the door, met the guy. I walked him like all the way across, so like he wasn't even near the store anymore, and just I gave him a couple bucks and told him, yeah, have a good night or whatever. And I get back into the pizza place, and all these people are looking at me like, are we done shooting tonight? I was like, no, we like have 10 pages left. Get the fuck to work. I was like, we only have this place one night. Like, we got to do this now. But yeah, like stuff like that was just funny. But unfortunately, the bad part of that story is the guy who we used his film DP, a cameraman, whatever you want to call him. I just call him a camera guy. He wasn't really a DP. But we used him, and they like took all the footage. They didn't give us back any of the footage ever. And luckily I had contracts written up and signed them, had them signed and stuff. So I contacted the guy. I said, you give us our footage, or, you know, if I see it on the internet ever, I'm suing the shit out of you. I still have the contracts in my paperwork. And this was like, 10 years ago. 12 years ago now. It's crazy. But I told him, I was like, I will sue you. I don't care how long it takes. I'll hold on to these pieces of paper. It don't matter to me. You know. So
that
yeah.
Sucks. Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about working in any creative field is sometimes the experience is great, sometimes it sucks. It all depends on who you're working with and what you're working with. And
like I said, most of the people there were great. It was just this one guy who had access to a camera guy because he had his own production company at the time. He was an actor already, and my buddy really liked him and trusted him enough. So I was like, all right, whatever. I don't know anything about them, but whatever. And I just made sure everyone signed contracts because I was on top of all that crap. And I actually really want to get back to doing independent films, and I wouldn't mind freaking doing a Munsters fan film, to be honest, if I could make it so I'm not going broke doing it. I can't use my own money. But yeah. I have 3 kids. It costs a lot of money to make a film.
Not to derail too long, but for those who want to watch the short film, it's on Time Bomb 93, all one word, YouTube channel.
Time Bomb. Okay.
93.
Yeah, that's my that's Jim's production company
Awesome
name. So
yeah. Well, anyways, the end of my story is basically I have the script, the full script that my buddy wrote, and I'm thinking about still shooting it and producing it for him since he had passed away. And then anything that we make off the movie, he actually had a daughter like just a few months before he died. So being like, here you go, just take all this. This is your dad's work anyways. So that's a plan in my head. I guess I can put it out there right now, but yeah. So that's something that might be coming from me in the works, guys. So look out if I'm asking for money.
He's got an Indiegogo going on.
Not yet, but I do have what, Tivis?
Oh God, you can book him on what the hell is that thing called? Cameo.
At cameo.com/Myke Shrews. That's cameo.com/Myke Shrews.
have you gotten any?
I had one, but they wanted me to do something so stupid. I was like, yeah, I can't do that because they want me to like take my fucking shirt off and like do some weird dance thing. And I'm like, no, this is not Goonies, bro. I'm not gonna do stuff, dude. Like, no. Yeah. Anyways, cameo me at cameo.com/Myke Shrews. That's MYKESHREWS. Cameo.com.
Everyone try to get Mike to take off his shirt and do a little dance.
I end up getting like 20 people to do it. I mean, whatever, I guess. Money's money, right? Might as well just start an OnlyFans.
You're gonna be on Wiki Feet before long.
How do you know I'm not already?
There's a good reason I don't know.
All right, guys. I think I'm cooked on this. Do you have more? Do you want to talk about or try and bring up or anything?
Hey, you got anything in the works right now you want to talk about?
Nothing like horror or Munsters related, but like I am working on a couple cool things. Like I said, I shot some commercials for a friend of Jim and I's local business. Her and her wife own a board game lounge in Toledo, and so we shot a couple commercial spots for her. Okay. And so that's cool. I mean, that's very like local Toledo, Ohio. But but I also I'm shooting a cool little documentary about this a friend of mine who is a musician is writing a song with a mostly nonverbal autistic kid who just is starting to learn to communicate with one of the like digital like spellers that kind of reads out what you say, and as he's kind of come out of his shell wrote a song, and my friend helped put it to music, and so I'm making like a little short documentary about that. Awesome. I don't know in what capacity that's going to end up ever being released. That's going to be more up to the family than me at that point.
Right.
But that's a cool thing I'm working on.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. That's a really cool thing to be working on, to be honest, man. Like,
I'm really excited about it. It's a really moving story. He's a very inspiring man, just in general, it's just like he really wants to use his newfound voice to inspire others to use theirs.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really cool.
That's cool. It's awesome. What were you going to say, Tivis?
Nothing important. That's for sure.
He's like, nothing. I got nothing now.
No, though, that's really awesome. I'm glad you shared that, dude.
Yeah, I've shot like the behind the scenes stuff so far, and I'm gonna get some like more interview, talking head type stuff, hopefully soon.
Mhm.
And then I have to do the fun editing process of it. So
fun editing time. Yeah,
Myke knows about that.
not with this show. I'm
No,
gonna
that's
put it
awesome.
straight out there. I do not want people thinking that this is my editing. Like, I will never get hired for another gig again.
What I enjoy the most about sitting in on conversations with you two is you guys are both film people, and I'm just a watcher. And it's so cool to hear you guys talk about the process and stuff you do. So
He's a watcher.
I'm just
That's why
enjoying myself.
That's why his head is so big, because he's a watcher.
No, it's pear-shaped because I'm fat.
I was giving you like a godlike complex, dude, and you're just over here. No, I'm fat.
I don't need to be given a complex. I already got one.
I'm not going there. Not touching that. But oh yeah, I was gonna bring up when we were talking real quick about like Universal Monster stuff coming back into play a lot. We also have James Gunn that's going to be doing Creature Commandos, which is kind of cool because it touches loosely on Universal Monster kind of.
And he's doing animation, so it kind of brings into that too.
Well, that's like, what the first that's the first one is, Creature Commandos. So yeah, because it is anime, right?
It is
the first one in their universe.
Animation, yeah.
So you'll see Frankenstein in that, people.
I love DC's Frankenstein.
And then he's pretty cool. He's right here.
Agents of Shade right there.
So it would be really cool to see what he does with it and what they do, and if they actually bring it into a live action setting. Like,
from what I understand, from what he said, I think that is the intention, is that these characters are going to exist in both animation and live action, and they're going to be voiced by the actors who are going to portray them live action.
Which will be interesting because
not all actors are great voice actors.
No, I was about to say that. Excuse me. And there's really great voice actors who are not great actors in front of the camera.
Yep.
Well, how many roles are going to be given to friggin' what's his name? The guy who voiced Joel.
That's gonna be that's another thing about that is a lot of time animation, like they have actors that usually portray multiple characters in a show or something. So with them like doing, each person is going to be like who they can be in the live action. The one, that's a very big commitment from those actors, and two, like that's a lot of freaking cast members, dude, for animation.
Yeah, the James Gunn DCU is going to be really interesting, I think.
I just saw who's playing Frankenstein.
Who is it?
David Harbour.
David Harbour?
Yes. Harbour.
I think
I love him.
The Creature Commandos comes out this year.
Yeah.
And then and Superman just wrapped filming, so that'll come out next year.
Something. Yeah.
I'm sad I didn't go out and see him filming out there. I thought about it.
Oh, they were filming up in Ohio, right?
Yeah, they were filming in Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, Cleveland is Metropolis in this movie.
That's
the Superman Museum is there. Cleveland is actually home to the Superman Museum, if anyone didn't know that. So.
Yeah, I think Siegel and Schuster are from Cleveland, if I remember right.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I mean, if you guys don't have more, do you have anything else to say, Tivis, for the 100th episode, to ask Mosher or to tell the fans? I mean, yeah.
You went from Seymour Philip Hoffman to more of a lumberjack, and it's really impressive.
Thank you.
He's got a great beard for audio listeners.
I feel. Do you use like the beard grease stuff?
No.
Like conditioner or anything? No.
I mean,
You don't go full like
I mean,
on it.
I use conditioner. Otherwise, like the skin underneath my beard dries out. But like, I don't use anything like beard specific. I don't have like beard oils and
what with that thing. Come on, man. You could be doing like some. Why are you laughing so hard, Tivis?
What is how did we get here?
you brought us here.
Brought it up.
I complimented you, and now we're talking about beard products.
This episode's brought to you by
Manscaped.
Yeah, Manscaped.
This is what your lower region will look like if you don't use Manscaped. No, this episode is definitely not brought to you by Manscaped. We are not a partner with them in any way, and we will not be. I will not promote Manscaped. I will not promote blue pills or whatever boner pills they want us to promote.
Then she upped the price.
Although if you took a Blue Chew, your penis won't look that hairy.
It's late, people.
As we are recording very late tonight. Well, not very late, but I'm about to go to bed here after I call my wife once I get done on this thing here. So
thank you, Mosher, for joining us.
Yes,
this was great, and let's not make it another 57 episodes before we see you again.
Absolutely, yeah,
or 60 something.
Bring me on anytime.
Yeah, dude, definitely. And
Before we end, we have been toying with the idea of returning to classic episodes. Do you give us 3 that you would love us to revisit?
Yeah.
Man, off the top of my head, I'd have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah. Think about it, because when we do it, we could bring you on and we can all do a chat over one episode or so like that for the original series, because it would be the original if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
I would just have to kind of think back on some of my favorite episodes. So
yeah, dude. Definitely. Go back and re-listen to us talking about them.
Of course.
And be like, I remember that. I don't know what the hell they're talking about here.
God, remember when we used to do 2 episodes?
If anything, it'll give me just a reason just to go back and start rewatching the show again. So
yeah, definitely, man. I know there's a couple in there we've gotten suggested already, so I'll send you the names of those later. Once I have them in front of me. So yeah. Hey, that's the magazine we have an ad in.
Yes, we do.
Somewhere in there. It's in the last 2 pages, I think, are ads in that. Did you see that one, Mosher?
I saw it from you guys talking about it, but I don't actually.
Yeah. Classified ads. Look at that. Anyways, yeah, they gave us that for talking about it and stuff on the show, which was really nice of them.
I bought great.
No. I mean the ad space, dude.
Oh.
Because we were promoting that Munsters magazine and everything.
I support the magazine.
I had to buy mine. I got a free year subscription.
Yeah, but I gave him money direct.
Oh shit. Anyways,
bigger fan now.
Me?
Yeah, probably.
I have more magazines. I knew what they were before you did. Mm-hmm. That makes me the ultimate.
If we haven't
fan
talked about this with the audience yet, we'd love to hear from you. Give us some episodes you would like us to return to.
Definitely, guys. And thank you again, like Tivis said, dude. Thank you, Mosher, for showing up with us talking about this. This is going to end up being part 1 of a 2-part 100th episode. We already know that, so I'm just going to say it right here. You'll probably have an intro and outro from us on the ends of these. Probably going to be wearing completely different clothes by then. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed whatever the heck we say at the beginning and the end of this episode. That
was funny.
Yeah. That was really fun. I hope that Austin, you enjoyed your time here. We always like talking to you, dude. I know usually on like the other show that you would show up on, we have a lot more wide range of things that we do talk about. So I was trying to kind of seep
Like
into
we
some
stay
of
on
that,
topic.
but we try and stay more on topic on this show, more on genre, I should say, on this show. So
yeah, when I was texting you the other day about like what the hell are we even talking about on this episode? So I was like, I haven't watched like an episode, and you're like, oh no, we're not watching an episode. We're just kind of like I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's just a celebration for 100 episodes, dude.
Because I've been on a number of Operation Babbles where it went off the rails.
Yeah. And some of those like there have been like 3, 4, 6 hour podcasts from that show. So we try and keep it to like an hour and a half on here now.
For anyone who used to listen to that show with us, Myke is re-uploading some episodes that were missing from YouTube.
Be cautious. Some of them were
cringe,
unfortunately, but I did talk to the person that was part of that before I uploaded them. So they know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, guys, we appreciate everybody for listening, tuning into part 1 of 100. And Austin, we thank you very much for showing up, dude. I really appreciate it, man.
I always like coming on, so like anytime you guys want me to pop in, I can find some time.
Awesome, dude. All right, guys,
go watch VEJIGANTE on Time Bomb 3.
VEJIGANTE.
You're never allowed to read Latin or Spanish or anything on this show ever again.
You barely let me read English.
It's called VEJIGANTE.
VEJIGANTE.
There we go. Got it.
I'm going to forget it in 10 minutes, just so you know.
We have it on recorded that you said it correctly, but also very incorrectly. So.
Vegetarian.
Oh, quick story before I go. Like,
okay.
When we were at the festival in Chicago, the guy who was running it ran the award ceremony, and it was like the most chaotic award ceremony I've ever been a part of. and it was, this guy was like, for one thing, like the theater that it was supposed to be in was running late, like it was running behind schedule, so they had to like move the award ceremony into a smaller room. And so we had like just hundreds of people crammed into like one small room. It was so hot, and this guy, he's like this big, like biker looking dude, and he comes in and immediately his head is just like bright red, and he's just like sweating profusely, and he's like just powering through these awards, and he's like and like he's like reading off nominees, and he's just like, eventually he's just not trying to read. He got to our category, and he got to like Tivis just demonstrated. So a lot of people struggle to say VEJIGANTE in general. He when he went to read it, he called it he said, like vinaigrette or something like that. It was like it was so far off. I thought it was pretty funny. Jim didn't find it as funny, but
right. That's funny.
Anyway, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it, guys, and send Mosher and his buddy all the love you can. Try and get them to, maybe do some more episodes. Yeah, I'd fund it. Do a GoFundMe. I'll fund you some.
Yeah, give us more. Give us money, and we'll do it.
Right. How much did that end up cost? Do you know the budget on that, or
it was like shoestring? Okay. Like I think the most getting the costume for the actual VEJIGANTE like design, and I think it ended up like, and most of the other equipment I had access to, and it was my apartment, so we didn't have to worry about like paying for. We didn't have to pay for like space or anything like that, or worry about. So we could just like hang out. I think all in all, it was like maybe like $200 some to make the whole thing.
Bad. Yeah. That's cool. All right, dude. Well, again, I'm gonna say it for the final time. Thank you for coming on, dude. Thank you for celebrating 100 with us, and
congrats on 100. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, dude. We'll end up talking with you later. I know I'll end up messaging you or something later down. Anyways, I talk to you almost every other day or so sometimes. So yeah, dude. All right, man. Well, thank you and have a good night, dude.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Yeah. I know you gotta get to bed soon. Later, man.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Bye, bud.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Thank you again, Austin, for showing up. We said it many times at the end of the video. But everyone, we ended up just kept going and stuff. So that was awesome, man. What did you think about the discussions that we ended up having, man?
As I said in the discussion itself, YouTube film guys, hearing you guys get together and talk about all this stuff, it's always a blast for me.
Right on, man. Yeah. So. Yeah. And I like I said probably in the intro to this, I opened up a little bit about some stuff that's going on with some film stuff potentially with my buddy and everything. So it was really cool to finally actually say any of that. I haven't really talked about him in his passing since I found out about publicly anyways, I should say. So that's it was cool to get that off my chest, I guess, a little bit. But I do really appreciate like Austin and his movie that we did talk about in there. It's a great little short, guys. Go check it out. Like he said, it's like a 9-minute short. Links in the description and stuff. Definitely check that out because it was a fun one. And I feel that if we pester his buddy enough, that maybe he'll make a couple more just little webisodes or something at least for it. So, but it is running the circuit right now as well too, as he said, going through some festivals and things. So definitely check those out, guys. And then I think that's all I gotta say. I don't want to make this like a 5-hour episode with that in there. So I know we went a little longer with Austin than we thought we were gonna, but it was worth it, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, always a blast to talk to him.
Yeah, guys. But what we have part 2 coming to this. Part 2.
Are we gonna tease what it is?
I guess we might as well just tease it.
I think I already said it in the discussion anyway.
Yeah. So who's gonna be our guest for part 2, dude? We won't talk about what we're talking about, but we'll talk about who's coming.
We got Cousin Frank coming back.
Cousin Frank, guys. If everybody remembers Frank, he was on our 2-year anniversary episode, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think it was also the wrap up of season 1 of today.
Yeah, that's right. So he's coming back. He's gonna be joining us for part 2 of episode 100. And I think we're just gonna call it 100.5.
Part 2.
So definitely check that episode out, guys. Next week it'll be hitting the airwaves and everything. So definitely check it out and follow us on all the socials if you're not already, and send us some messages, guys. We'd love to hear from you. And like I said before, we've said it throughout the show too. If you leave us voice messages and stuff, it doesn't necessarily have to be just for a special celebration episode like 100 episodes. It can be for anything, and we'll put it into episodes. I know like there's going to be some filtered in through this episode and through part 2 as well from you guys out there, the fans, and we love it and appreciate all of you that are sending in stuff either for us to read or for us to play either whether it's a video or audio, guys. So definitely appreciate all of that. And I think I do have one right here that I will play in this outro. So here we go, guys. Here's one from, this is from Kenny Lovejoy. He's on Instagram. You can find them there through that.
Real nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He likes to send us stuff all the time.
Always a blast to hear from him.
Yeah, and he's one of the co-hosts of Nerd Culture Shock. So if you go over there, they do a bunch of like they do a bunch of nerd stuff. Pretty much. It's hard to just pick one thing or not, because but yeah, so they do a bunch of stuff over there. Nerd Culture Shock. It's a podcast, and I believe they do video shows as well that I've seen on their YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. And again, this is from Kenny Lovejoy.
Munster Cast. Happy 100 episode, guys. Fantastic job. Love the show as always. Just keep it up. Keep it up. I don't know how we're going to get to another 100 episodes. I don't think there's that. Who cares if there's that much Munster stuff out there? We'll just keep talking. We don't need more episodes. We'll just keep talking about Munsters even after the Munsters today is over with. We'll just keep talking about it. There's always enough time for Munsters. Happy 100, guys. You guys are the best.
Awesome. Thank you again for that, Kenny. We appreciate it very much. And then everyone else that sent their stuff in, if I didn't say thank you already, using your specific names or anything like that, I definitely appreciate all you guys too. Dude, also Kenny, there is more stuff to talk about after the Munsters today. So we got some stuff. We got this, bro. We got a few more episodes after Munsters today for sure, of already made content out there. So we got this, guys. We got it. Tivis, I appreciate you again, dude, and congratulations and happy 100 episodes to you, I guess.
Happy 100 episodes to you.
I know your anniversary was just the other day, so that was a bigger celebration than 100 episodes on a podcast.
And we've only been together 16 years. That's fine.
It's not 100.
Not yet.
So yeah,
I doubt I'll make that.
but I did want to say congratulations to you and your wife too, dude, for the 16. Is it 16 married?
No, it's only together. Married, we will hit our 10 next year.
Okay, so 10-year anniversary. Awesome. Next year. Sweet, dude. Awesome, man. Well, congratulations to both of you guys. Yeah, that's all I got, dude. Anything else? Any final words for part 1 of episode 100?
Thank you to all the listeners for being with us this whole time. Whether you've been with us the whole time, jumped on board, or maybe stopped listening partway through and, decide to come back and check this out. Thank you. We wouldn't have the outreach that we have if it wasn't for all of you. So
definitely. Yes. And we might not have the sanity we have.
What sanity?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we appreciate all you guys. And again, thank you very much for sticking with us through 100 episodes, helping us get to 100 episodes as well. We love you guys and appreciate all you. And yeah. All right, Tivis. Is that it? We'll see you guys next week at part 2. I guess, technically. How does it go? We will catch y'all next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white.